Hi, welcome back. It's Cheng here, and today we are going to look at AstrHoli's brand new 27mm f2.8 for APS-C camera. And this particular copy is from my Nikon Z camera. Let's do this. One thing I like about Trafalgar Square is that you got a really beautiful backdrop. If you come here early in the morning, you get some low angle light. It's going to be some really spectacular portrait opportunity for you if you're into that sort of lighting scenario, which I personally enjoy doing. But today we're not talking about portrait. In fact, not portrait lens altogether. It's a street photography lens, 27mm, which is something about 35mm in full frame terms. And previously, AstrHoli sent me the 85mm 1.8, which I kind of like for the money. But how does this 35mm equivalent 27mm f2.8 fares compared to, a whole bunch of rival these days? So first, let's talk a little bit about the build quality of the AstrHoli 27mm f2.8. Right, okay, it's got a full metal housing, which is kind of cool. Everything feels very tight, just like its 85mm brother. The focus ring is on the stiff side, so it's not as lightweight or as smooth as I would like it to be. Although having said that, it's a lot better than the 85, so at least I can turn it. But this time, the whole 27mm 2.8 design is, well, a little bit more on the compact side. It hasn't got a really big aperture. 2.8 is relatively modest in a full frame terms, but it's definitely more than enough for, let's say, general photography, because a lot of the professional zoom lenses are 2.8 maximum anyway. So this is okay. It's not extremely slow, so you can just still do a lot of stuff with it. So how does the handling fares when you mount it to a body? Well, actually pretty good, because the 27-2.8 is relatively compact. It's great for one of these like a one lens street photography setup that many people will crave for. Anyone who are used to shooting a rangefinders or one of the traditional SLRs have these like kind of small compact prime lenses, you kind of enjoy this sort of setup. As you can see, that I'm mounted to my full frame setup. It feels kind of nice. So I think handling wise, it's pretty good. So how about the image quality of the 27mm 2.8? Well, unlike its 85mm 1.8 brother, which for the price is okay, but in terms of image quality, is definitely not on the top level. But the 27-2.8, well, quite the opposite. It's actually quite spectacular. I've tested a 2.8 all the way to f16. It's actually pretty impressive. You got great central sharpness as well as the edges. So overall, it's pretty good. If you don't believe me, have a look at the sample images. As you can see, the image quality of the 27-2.8 is pretty good, right? I'm not joking right here. So for the price, I think it's not too bad, but I'm going to come to that in just a second. When it comes to overall rendering and the bokeh quality, I actually think it's decent. It's got a little bit of old school things going on once again. It's kind of like a typical AstrHoli rendering. I wouldn't say it's very clinical, modern 2024 thing. It's definitely more like a 1990, 2000 kind of look to it. So if you dig that kind of aesthetic, I think this is actually pretty good. Bokeh quality wise, I think it's decent. I wouldn't say spectacular. There is a little bit of harsh edges when it goes to spectacular highlight rendering, so you just have to be mindful of that. But again, this is probably quite preferential and also personal. So if you like that look, it's okay. If you don't, then you don't. Simple as that. So this is a autofocus lens. Of course, I'm going to talk about autofocus here. For a budget lens, I think it is pretty decent. It's not the fastest in the world, but certainly managed to keep up with some random stuff that I was doing. Earlier, I just snapped a cyclist going past me, and it was really like a split-second thing. And the lens managed to catch it, and also nailed the focus as well. So well done for this. And also for video, I think the CF managed to keep up with most of the actions I was doing. So overall, I think the AF performance is great. And one last thing is about the noises. Well, I'm quite happy to say that it's quite quiet, so it's actually pretty decent. Chromatic aberration of this lens is not too bad as well. So I haven't seen anything that is kind of destructive. But having 5 aperture blade, when you stop down, you will see some kind of angular shape bokeh balls if you so happen to have a lot of specular highlights or anything that can be rendered into a ball in the background. So just be mindful of that. But when you do stop down, you're not going to get a nice sun stars either because of the 5 aperture blade design. So you're going to have some kind of weird looking streaks on any of the lightings that you're going to photograph. So just be mindful of that. But overall, in terms of rendering, it does have that kind of like a late 90s, early 2000 look to it. So if you're into that kind of aesthetic, this is not too bad for you. God, this is cold, right? So this is my quick review on AstrHoli's 27mm f2.8 for APS-C camera. It does come with either Sony E or the Nikon Z camera mounts. I think it also have X mounts as well for Fujifilm cameras. So if you are an APS-C user, I would highly recommend this. At least have a look at it to see whether it is your liking. The reason I say that is because I know that there are a lot of budget Chinese lenses out there now, especially for APS-C cameras. Recently, Sigma has re-entered the space for a lot of the APS-C lenses, and they are selling not that much more than some of these Chinese lenses. So it's going to be a very competitive space. So how would I see, in terms of AstrHoli, maybe even Viltroxes and Zero compete with a more established player like Sigma? Well, it's going to be down to preferences and also how much of a brand loyalist you are. But overall, I would say that this lens is worth a look. If you're looking for the ultra budget line, this certainly will fit into that category. But if you're kind of spending that sort of money already, if you want to spend a little bit more, you may be able to get a better lens. So that's my verdict. Certainly, I wouldn't say that this lens is at a void. It's certainly something to consider. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you liked the video and like my environment, like London in general, because I haven't been out for a while, so it's quite good to see here. The Christmas market is right behind me now because it's coming to Christmas time. So I'm going to take some more photos and show you guys, in some other social media platforms. So remember what to do now. Sub if you like this video and sub if you want to stay in touch all things photography and filmmaking. And I'll see you all very soon. Bye for now. Peace out. Christmas market is right behind me, which is actually pretty good. And I can see that I have my gloves on. It's very cold today. I think it's probably about 1 degree Celsius in London. This morning it was -1, so it was pretty cold here. Tomorrow, actually not tomorrow, maybe Saturday, is going to be warm again. So yeah, we got this fluctuating temperature, which I always hate about London. But overall, I always like winter time because I don't know, especially Christmas time, when you hear the music going, when you see Christmas markets going around, and I just wrap up. I don't know, I'm just feeling a little bit festive. And because it's festive, I feel happy. And that's right? That's really cool. But anyway, I'm cold now, so I'm going to walk around, maybe get some more wine and see what happens. I don't want to get drunk yet because I am going to DJI's launch again for something else. So I'll see you all very soon. Until next time, I would speak to you later. Bye for now. Cheers.